Let me tell you something unfair, but real. The world decides how to treat you before you even speak. If you look poor, people don't just see less money, they assume less value, less discipline, less respect, less opportunity. And suddenly everything feels heavier. The service is colder, the chances get smaller, the same mistakes cost you more. But here's the good part. This isn't about becoming rich or buying brands. It's about changing the signal you carry, so the world stops fighting you before you even start. Now listen, before you change your job, before you change your city, before you change your luck, there is something you need to see clearly. Because right now, you're fighting a battle on two fronts. One front is your real life. Bills, pressure, responsibilities, the heavy things. And the other front is invisible. How the world reads you before you even speak. That invisible front is where many people lose silently every day. Let me hook you with something. That might sting a little. You can be a good person and still get treated like you don't matter. You can be intelligent and still get spoken to like you're a child. You can be hardworking and still get ignored like you're nothing. And a big part of that, whether you like it or not, is the signal you carry. Not your bank balance, your signal. The world does not meet your heart first. It meets your presentation first, your posture, your eyes, your energy, your cleanliness, your pace, your tone. And yes, your clothes, your grooming, your look. And when you look poor, when you look like life has worn you down, everything starts to feel against you. People speak shorter. They offer less patience. They assume things. They test your boundaries. They don't give you the benefit of the doubt. And you start walking through life like every door is heavier than it should be. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying this is fair. It's not fair. I'm not praising it. I'm not defending it. I'm pointing at reality. So you can stop being confused by it. Because confusion drains you, and you can't afford to leak energy. Let me open a thought and leave it hanging for a moment. Most people don't judge you because they are evil. They judge you because they are lazy. Hold that. We'll return to it. Right now, I want you to do something simple. Think of the last time. You walked into a place, any place where people didn't know you. A shop, an office, a hospital, a reception desk, an interview room. Even a family gathering where you hadn't been seen in a while. You didn't even speak yet, but you could already feel it, right? You could feel whether you were being welcomed or evaluated. You could feel whether someone was going to help you or rush you. You could feel whether you were seen as serious or not serious. That feeling, it's not magic. It's signal reading. Human beings have been reading signals since the beginning of time. Who is safe? Who is stable? Who is desperate? Who is confident? Who is strong? Who is weak? And the painful part is this. When you look poor, many people confuse poor with unstable. They don't just see lack of money. They imagine lack of discipline. They imagine chaos. They imagine problems following you like a shadow. They imagine you will demand more than you give. And people are afraid of being pulled into struggle. So they keep distance, cold distance. And then you walk away thinking, everything is against me. Maybe it is, but not because you are cursed, because your signal is being misread. Now here is the good news. Listen carefully. If it's a signal, it can be trained. If it can be trained, you can change the outcome without changing your soul. You do not need to become fake. You need to become clear. You need to become steady. You need to become ordered. Because order is loud. Order speaks before your mouth opens. Let me return to the thought I left hanging. Most people don't judge you because they are evil. They judge you because they are lazy. People use shortcuts. They see a messy appearance and assume a messy life. They see tired eyes and assume weak will. They see poor grooming and assume poor standards. They see cheap clothing and assume cheap values. Again, unfair, but common. So if you keep walking into the world with a signal that invites the wrong assumptions, don't be surprised when the world responds to the assumptions. This is why it feels like everything works against you. You are not only dealing with your situation, you are dealing with people's imagination about your situation. And imagination can be cruel. Now let me tell you something that might change how you move today. Looking rich is not the goal. Looking expensive is not the goal. Looking respected is not even the goal. The goal is to look stable. Stable is powerful. Stable is rare. Stable is trusted. Stable is offered chances. Because stable energy makes people relax. And when people relax, they cooperate. When people feel tense around you, they resist you. So ask yourself, what does your presence do to people? Do they relax or do they brace? Do they trust? Or do they prepare to defend? Your presence is a language. And right now, maybe you're speaking a language you don't intend. No, before your mind gets offended, let me protect your dignity. If you are struggling, it is not shameful. If you have little money, it is not shameful. If you've been hit by life, it is not shameful. But neglect is a choice. And some forms of looking poor are actually neglect signals. Not always, sometimes access is limited. But often, it's not about price. It's about care. Two people can wear the same cheap shirt. One looks defeated. The other looks disciplined. Same fabric. Different message. So we're not talking about money. We're talking about mastery. Now let me give you a small scene. A man walks into a room asking for a chance. Version 1. He walks fast. Shoulders collapsed. Eyes scanning the floor. Voice too quiet. Words rushed. Light. He's apologizing for being there. Version 2. The same man. Same budget. Same life. But he washed his face, combed his hair, wiped his shoes, ironed or smoothed the shirt, stood upright, breathed slowly, and spoke like he belongs to the ground. Which version gets treated like an inconvenience? Which version gets treated like a human being? This is not about pride. This is about self-respect. Because self-respect creates a signal that says, I will not waste your time, and I will not let you waste mine. That signal changes everything. Now I'll tell you an anonymous story short, but listen. A young man goes for work, not lazy, not stupid, just trapped in pressure. He's tired, he's broke, he's embarrassed. He goes to ask for an opportunity. He wears what he has. It's not terrible, but it's wrinkled. His shoes are worn, his hair is messy. The person behind the desk barely looks up. Hands him a form, no warmth, no curiosity. Just next. He leaves angry, then ashamed, then angry again. Next week, he borrows a shirt, not a brand, just cleaner. He gets a basic haircut. He washes his face properly. He wipes his shoes with water and soap. And he practices one thing in the mirror, slow breathing and steady eye contact. He returns. Same place, same desk. The person looks up and says, have a seat. That's it. Just those words. But those words change his whole nervous system. He answers better. He sounds clearer. He seems more capable. Suddenly, they see potential. What changed? Not his worth, his signal. Now, some of you will say, so people are fake. Yes. And you can cry about it for 10 years and stay stuck. Or you can train and move forward without losing your integrity. This is maturity, accepting reality without becoming bitter. Bitterness is another poverty signal, by the way. You can smell it on a person. It makes them tight. It makes them sharp in the wrong way. It makes them argue for disrespect. And here is something you must understand. When you look poor, get tested more. People push your boundaries. They try to cut lines. They speak over you. They offer lower prices for your work. They delay paying you. They assume you'll accept bad treatment. Not because you deserve it, because they think you have no option. So if you want to change how the world treats you, you must first change what you tolerate. Because tolerance is also a signal. If you tolerate chaos, the world brings you more chaos. If you tolerate disrespect, the world offers you more disrespect. Not always, but often. So the training is simple, but not easy. Become someone who respects themselves. So consistently, that disrespect becomes awkward around you. You don't need to shout. You don't need to threaten. You don't need to act rich. You need to be grounded. Grounded is quiet power. Now, pattern interrupt. If your account is empty, you can still be expensive. Expensive in standards. Expensive in cleanliness. Expensive in punctuality. Expensive in calm. Calm is luxury. Most people are emotionally broke, even if they have money. So if you cultivate calm, you walk into rooms with something rare. And rare things get noticed. Now don't make the mistake of trying to look rich. That path destroys people. They buy to cover insecurity. They show off to hide fear. They chase validation and become a slave to other people's eyes. No. We don't do that. We build something deeper. We build order. Because order is what poverty tries to steal from you first. Poverty steals time. It steals sleep. It steals patience. It steals planning. It makes you reactive. It makes you rush. And rushing makes you look even poorer. Not in money and control. So the first step is not earning more. The first step is moving with control even before you have more. Because control creates opportunities. And opportunities create options. And options create freedom. Now listen closely, because this part is practical. Your look is not only your clothes. Your look is your posture. Your pace. Your grooming. Your tone. Your eye contact. Your ability to pause before speaking. Your ability to listen without looking desperate. Desperation is one of the strongest poor signals. And desperation makes people step away. Even kind people step away. They don't want it to be grabbed. So you must train yourself to be calm, even when you need something. You can need help and still speak with dignity. You can ask for an opportunity and still look like you will contribute. You can be hungry and still look disciplined. That combination is powerful. Now let me open another thought. Leave it hanging. There is a difference between humility and invisibility. Hold that. We'll return. Many people confuse humility with shrinking. They think being humble means being small. So they dress like they don't matter. They speak like they don't matter. They walk like they don't matter. They accept less than they deserve and call it patience. No. That's not humility. That's fear wearing a polite mask. True humility is stable. It doesn't need to dominate. But it doesn't disappear either. It stands. It is present. It is clean. It is clear. So return to the thought. Humility is not making yourself the center. Invisibility is believing you don't deserve a place. One is strength. One is a wound. And wounded people have tells. They apologize too much. They explain too much. They laugh at disrespect. They tolerate poor treatment to avoid conflict. Then they go home and hate themselves. That hatred leaks out as bitterness. And bitterness becomes your face. Then the world reads your face and decides your trouble. And you say, everything is against me. You see the loop? So we break it at the start. Self-respect. Now another short story, anonymous. A woman in her late 42nd. Life squeezes her. Stress, family pressure, money pressure. She stops caring for herself because she's exhausted. Not lazy, exhausted. She tells herself, I don't care what people think. But the truth, she cares a lot. That sentence is armor. One day she goes somewhere to ask for help. The person at the front desk speaks coldly, short answers, no kindness. She leaves humiliated and tells herself, see, they treat people like me like nothing. A friend says, come with me. They don't buy luxury. They buy clean basics. A simple top, something that fits. She brushes her hair, cleans her nails, wipes her shoes, stands straighter. She goes back another day, same place. The person looks up and smiles. How can I help you? And she realizes something painful. She wasn't only being judged. She was also teaching the world how to treat her by how she treated herself. Not because she deserved the coldness earlier, because humans mirror signals. So if you want the world to stop acting like everything is against, you must stop giving it a signal that says you've surrendered. Now, micro-hook, change one thing for the next 30 days, your pace. Poor energy often moves in two speeds, rushed or frozen. Rushed because anxious. Frozen because ashamed. Both communicate instability. Train a third speed, deliberate. Not slow like lazy deliberate, like controlled. Walk like you have time, even if you don't. Speak like you're choosing words, even if you're nervous. Hold eye contact 1 second longer. Not as a challenge, as a presence. You don't need money for this. And it changes how people respond. Because deliberate movement suggests options. And people respect options. Now let's talk about the trap inside your head. When you feel judged, you shrink. You stop applying. You stop asking questions. You stop negotiating. You stop approaching people who could help you. You become quiet in the wrong way, not calm small. And then your world gets smaller, not only because of society, because you withdrew. So the cure is not only external, the cure is expansion. Small expansions, one conversation where you speak clearly, one day where you dress clean, even if it's simple, one promise you keep, one skill you practice, one application you submit, one walk you take with posture, and you repeat it until it becomes you. Now, I want to give you something to remember, a simple rule: never beg for respect. Build proof. Proof is not showing off. Proof is consistency. Proof is being reliable. Proof is being punctual. Proof is doing what you said you would do. Proof is keeping your space in order. Proof is treating your body like it matters. Because proof creates reputation. And reputation is a social currency stronger than any outfit. People pay attention to reputation. They may ignore your words, but they watch your pattern. So become someone with a pattern that commands trust. Now, another pattern interrupt. A messy life makes you easy to dismiss. Order makes you harder to ignore. Order's not fancy. Order is a bed made, a shirt folded, a bag prepared the night before, a phone call returned, a message replied to, a deadline respected, a simple routine. Poverty attacks routine because routine creates progress. So build routine like it is your shelter, even if your shelter is small. Now, let's address something people don't like to hear. Sometimes people prefer you to look poor because it makes them feel superior. Because it makes them feel safe. Because if you stay small, they don't have to compete with you. So when you begin to improve, cleaner, calmer, more disciplined, you will feel resistance. Not always direct. Sometimes it comes as jokes. Oh, look at you. Sometimes it comes as discouragement. Why are you trying? Sometimes it comes as silence. They stop supporting you. Good. That means you are moving. If you never face resistance, you might not be changing anything. So you must decide comfort from those who like you, small, or freedom that requires discipline. Now let's return to the core theme. When you look poor, everything feels against you. So what do? You stop trying to look rich. You stop trying to impress. You stop trying to buy your way into respect. You train 3 things that are free and stronger than money: cleanliness, calm, clarity. Cleanliness says, I take care of what I have. Calm says, I am not controlled by chaos. Clarity says, I know who I am and what I want. These 3 change how you are treated because they change how you treat yourself. Now here is where many people sabotage. They change the outside for one day, but keep the inside chaotic. So the signal doesn't match. They wear something clean, but their eyes are restless. They speak confidently, but their breath is shallow. They try to look stable, but their energy screams desperation. People feel that mismatch. So don't chase surface change, chase alignment. Make the outside match the inside you're training. Train the inside first. Breath, posture, pace. Then the outside becomes natural. Now I'm going to challenge you with a question. What if the world isn't again? What if the world is simply responding to what you repeatedly showed? Not because it's moral, because it's efficient. And if it's efficient, you can influence it with training. This is not manipulation. This is mastery. Now, I'll give you a simple practice that sounds too small, so your ego will want to reject it. Good. That's how you know it matters. When you wake up, do not touch your phone first. Do one act of order first. Make your bed, wash your face, drink water, put on something clean, stand up straight. Then go into the day already respecting yourself, because when you respect yourself first, you stop begging the world to do it. And that changes your whole posture in life. Now, listen, because this part is subtle, people don't just respond to your clothes. They respond to your relationship with time. If you always arrive late, you look poor in discipline. If you always rush, you look poor in control. If you always cancel, you look poor in reliability. Reliability is wealth. So start being wealthy in reliability. Return calls. Show up on time. Deliver what you promise, even if it's small. And you will notice something. People start trusting you with more. Not because they love you, because you make their life easier. Now, one more anonymous story. A man takes public transport daily. People cut him in line, bump him, talk over him. He believes he's invisible. He trains one thing for 2 weeks, posture and gaze. He stops collapsing. Stops staring at the floor. Breathes deeper. Keeps his shoulders relaxed and open. Same station, same crowd. Fewer people bump him. The line cutters choose someone else. Not always, but less. Why? Because his body stopped communicating easy target. You don't need to be violent to have presence. Presence is a boundary. Now, if you're still listening, here's the sharp truth that frees you. No one is coming to rescue your signal. No one will announce, from today we will treat you fairly. So you stop waiting. You start building leverage. Leverage is skill. Leverage is reputation. Leverage is consistency. Leverage is self-control. And self-control is the strongest rich look you can wear, because it can't be bought. It can only be trained. Now, microhook, this is important. You can be broke and still be dignified. Dignity is not arrogance. Dignity is cleanliness in the middle of struggle. Dignity is showing up even when it's hard. Dignity is not turning into bitterness. Dignity is being firm without being rude. And dignity changes your future, because it changes who stays around you. People who only respect money will disappear. People who respect discipline will come closer. And those are the people you want in your life if you want to rise. So today, don't chase a new identity. Chase a new standard. One standard you keep daily, because standards become habits. Habits become character. Character becomes destiny. And if you're thinking, but my situation is heavy, I know. That's exactly why you need standards. Standards are the rope you hold when life tries to pull you under. So start small, but be strict, not harsh strict. Strict means consistent. Strict means you don't negotiate with your lowest self every morning. You decide once, then you follow. Now, remember the opening idea signal. Here is the strongest version. If you look poor, the world might treat you like you're disposable. So you become undisposable by becoming disciplined. You become someone whose presence changes a room, not with loudness, with steadiness, with order, with calm, with clarity. And once you carry that, even if your clothes are simple, even if your phone is old, even if your bank account is still recovering, you will notice the world starts to soften. Not because the world became kinder, because you stopped communicating surrender. You started communicating construction. You started looking like someone who is building, and people respect builders. Now, don't rush this. Don't try to change everything in one day. That's desperation again. We don't do desperation. We do training. We do repetition. We do quiet wins. We do consistent standards. And we keep going even when nobody claps. Because the point is not applause. The point is freedom. So the next time you walk into a room, don't ask, do they like me? Ask, what does my presence communicate? And if the answer is, I look like life is defeating me, then you don't hate yourself. You don't blame society all day. You train, you wash, you clean, you stand, you breathe, you slow down, you speak clearly, you keep promises, you build proof. And the proof stacks. And the stack becomes undeniable because eventually you walk into the same room that used to treat you like nothing, and without you saying a word, something shifts. A longer look, a different tone, a little more respect. Not because you begged for it, because you arrived as someone who respects themselves. And when you do that long enough, you stop needing the world to feel for you. Because you start feeling something stronger. You start feeling that you are no longer at war with yourself. And from that place, even the unfair world becomes something you can move through with control, with patience, with presence, like you're carrying your life in both hands, carefully, deliberately, as if it matters, because it does. And the training continues tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, until the signal is no longer something you try to project. It's just who you are when you wake up and choose order again. Even before anyone is watching, even before anyone believes in you, even before the results show up. Because you decided quietly that you are done looking like you've surrendered. And now you're going to look like you're building. And you will keep building. And you will keep building. And you will keep building.